Yo, people, welcome back to DR Sports, the weekend preview this afternoon. We got a stat-padded show, and we've got guests. Because, hey, when I'm sitting in the middle, you know there's a problem. Do you know what I mean? Laurie, in the building, first of all, brother. How are you doing? You good, yeah?
What's up, how's that GoFundMe going for my money?
I've told you, you're going to owe me the money. So I don't know why you keep mentioning it. You should really try and get me to forget about the bet. And we've also got a Manchester United fan, Dylan, in the building. Brother, how are you doing?
It's great. Thank you for coming. No, I'm the one that's thank you for coming. Thank you for having me. That's what I was trying to say. I feel like I've been called up from DR's academy. First team players are away. I'm getting my call up, getting my debut on the weekend preview.
You're smashing it though.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
We see the comments. You know what I mean? And you're having that kind of Rashford debut.
I really am, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
100%. Listen, people, we got a lot to get into. A lot of transfer rumors, drama. Little bit of Isak talk to begin with. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Let's start there because he's not on the Asian tour with Newcastle, and I guess it's a battle of like the media, because one side will probably want to put out there that he's injured and he's it's got nothing to do with the rumors, nothing to do with the speculation. We've seen other players like Isak Buemo kind of distracted this summer, and then the other party, obviously Liverpool, want to kind of project that this is them making the move and they're going to get him. Dylan, I'll get your take on it first of all. What do you think's actually going to happen with this saga? Yeah.
The more that stuff keeps coming out that he keeps not being in training, he keeps not coming up to the games, he keeps not going on pre-season tour, it feels like, I think Eddie Howe came out and said he's got like a minor thigh injury or something, right? But we've taken Lisandro Martinez, who's got an ACL problem, and Andre Onana, who's got a hamstring issue. We've taken them to pre-season training. They're not going to play, but they're part being around the squad. Yeah. The idea is even if your players are injured, you want them in the preparations, right? Even if they're injured, just to be around the squad, be around the team. If there's new tactics, if there's new systems, blah, 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 you want them to be there to at least see them. So not taking your biggest player is, I think, Newcastle fans, that's a red flag. That's got it. Because there's a case of Liverpool or Ekitike, and you're thinking, it's kind of done. Right? Liverpool have their striker now. Isak will stay another season. He might sign a new deal. And Newcastle might promise to let go of him next summer. But it feels a little bit like he's starting to go, lads, I want to take my step up. He's what, 25 now? 26 is like 25. 25, I believe,
yeah,
right?
I think so. 25. I believe so. Yeah.
So he's like, okay, he's got at least 2-3 big contracts left, and he wants to get that first one in. He's good enough to start for pretty much any team in the world.
Yeah,
I think we agree at this point, right? Yeah. And that includes Liverpool. Even if they sign Ekitike, he'd start over Ekitike. Liverpool were probably looking at it like, if we got both, then Ekitike can bed in. He can start. Isak can just smash it. He'll smash it from day one there if he was to go. And I feel like leaving him out of the pre-season tour, like I think when they went away. Yeah, it's like the same with Wissa at Brentford. Yeah, how Wissa left after like one day of their training camp in Portugal because he's gone. My head scrambled, a bit like Love Island. Your head scrambled. You don't know what to do, so you're like, I'm going to take a step back and I'm gonna assess my options. Yeah, but it's starting. I literally, at the beginning of this week, I sat in the studio with AGT, and he was like, I think we're going to get Isak. And I was like, I'm not sure about that. You've just got Ekitike. And literally, 4 days later, 3-4 days later, I'm now going, he might be right. Because I didn't expect this Isak stuff to unfold like it has so quickly. Because he's flat out he's not there. You can't prepare with your star man if your star man isn't there.
No. And I also think, obviously, people will be asking the question where Liverpool are getting the money from and all those things, Laurie. But at the end of the day, they didn't spend last summer. They only brought in Chiesa. Didn't spend in January, if I believe rightly, as well. They missed out on some heavy hitters the season before, I think, in Caicedo, Lavia. So they didn't necessarily go crazy then when they got Endo. Craig Hope says that Isak wants to transfer away.
Sorry, I'm going to have to... Yep.
Oh.
I was just going to say, Craig Hope, Daily Mail, Fabrizio Romano as well, has said... Isak has informed Newcastle of his desire to explore a move this summer. Club aware of the player's plans and will now decide how to move. Newcastle have already restarted exploring a move for a top striker in the market, I assume, to replace him. This is Fabrizio Romano and Craig Hope from Daily Mail, literally 2 minutes ago, as we're speaking about this. Right. Says nothing about Liverpool in the tweet.
Oh, yeah.
But. Yeah.
1 + 1 is 2.
But literally, as we're talking about it, major update.
That is a bombshell.
That's massive.
You know why as well? From an Arsenal perspective, we're probably thinking, is it too late?
Get rid of Gyökeres. Cancel the deal.
If I'm Gyökeres' agent,
was all doing this.
I'm like, bro, you better get that deal sorted now before there's no room for... Maybe
the paperwork apparently went in about 5 seconds ago for Gyökeres, and this has come out in the last couple of minutes.
I mean, I was about to say that he's clearly unsettled. I mean, and what we're hearing now is taking that to a new level, because he's actually, it would appear, asked for,
the transfer request.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if it sounds like an actual transfer request, but it's like, please let me go in the most respectful manner possible, because obviously he does have respect for that club. But
this is what always happens, man. There's
Newcastle
no player is beyond reproach when it comes to stuff like this. Everyone's got their price. Everyone's got their, that line.
Also, just their ambition.
Yeah.
All players have their ambition to play for top clubs, and if you prove yourself to be good enough to play for top clubs, you're going to want to move to the top clubs.
What I would imagine is going to happen now, there's going to be a mad scramble. I mean, it's not just going to be Liverpool or Arsenal. Well, Arsenal.
Well, can anyone else afford him?
Saudi.
Well, that's
apart
the
from
only
Saudi,
Yeah.
No, but he's been linked to Saudi.
But would he want to go to Saudi in the
I don't
prime
think he
of his
want to go
career?
to Saudi. But who would other heavy hitters that might need a striker?
I mean, in the Premier League, I don't.
I said heavy hitters.
Listen now, you lot spent 7 weeks negotiating from Mbeumo. I don't think you got the Isak money on.
We don't have any money.
Listen, mate, with respect, Nicholas Jackson or Ollie Watkins. I think Isak's a little bit
too much.
Oh yeah,
Double
no,
the price.
I'm in dreamland here. We're talking about Isak.
I'm looking at thinking Barcelona to maybe obviously look at the future of Lewandowski, but they always have issues registering players. They don't necessarily have a pot of gold waiting to put on Isak. Bayern Munich with Kane, they've already got someone. Man City have Haaland. Italian clubs never have any money. PSG may be the only team you'd look at, but they have a Ballon d'Or, contender in that front line pressing his heart out. It really is only all roads lead to Liverpool. It won't be Chelsea. Not for the wages. I mean, Isak will probably want about 200.
He wants about 300 according to reports.
Yeah, 300, yeah. So I have to ask you then, Dylan, because obviously it's 2020 titles, maybe 21 if this goes through. Is that Liverpool taking the title for you if they get Isak?
Well, I mean, I've been saying all this week, if Liverpool don't, from just a football perspective, if they don't win the league next season, that's failure for them. You can't win the league, spend 300 million and go, we'll take second. You can't do that as a club. And their team, if they were to get Isak, I mean, they've got Ekitike, which is obviously he's a fantastic young striker.
Yeah.
And if they were to get Isak, that pretty much completes their team. The only thing I would have with Liverpool where they could slightly have an issue is the fact that their two centre-backs are going to be on an island next season. If they've got both Kirkheads and Frimpong on either side, you've then got, let's say, Konate stays and Van Dijk, they're going to be by themselves at the back. Because the two wingers, Frimpong is a winger, effectively. He's a winger who's playing as a fullback. And Kirkhead's aggressive defender, as we've seen last season in the Premier League. But generally, his best attributes have been going forward. He's got a mint cross on him, can score goals as well, and links up play really well. Like, defending isn't his strongest suit. So unless Liverpool capitulate at the back by just players trying to play like really aggressive football against them, but as we know at the same time that also doesn't work because they've got such a hard-working midfield and front three. It definitely is. They have to win the league next season. Well, they are absolute favourites. We spoke about this yesterday about Arsenal, depending on if they get, obviously Gyökeres is through, and if you were to get Eze as well, that would potentially put you in the conversation. I would say no more than to challenge them and to push them. Definitely not put you as favourites at all to win the league, although Arteta might need to for the sake of his job.
They're not going to get rid of him. Forget all this ballyhoo about Arsenal fans saying if he's got a win or something.
Yeah, they won't. No, I don't feel
that may be what the
he is
fans
kind of
think.
like their Wenger, isn't he? Like they like the way that he kind of looks after them. I feel like obviously we got a poll up as well. 67% so far saying Isak will go to Liverpool. The other options are Saudi and PSG. I'll get super chats in a second. I feel like Kirkhead, because he will definitely be the better defender out of him and Frimpong. He'll probably be asked to stay back a little bit. And this is why I still feel like Szoboszlai is definitely going to start most of the games, because he's also going to cover for Frimpong, maybe the same way Henderson covered for Trent. If Liverpool sell Diaz and also Núñez as well, who's been linked with moves away, then of course they'll have the money for Isak and they'll have the money just in general to keep buying players. So they got sales to do. I'm sure one of Elliott or Jones will be looking to move as well. They sold Kwanzaa earlier on in the window. If Konate signs a new deal, that keeps the backline pretty stable. There was talk about him leaving on a discounted price. Liverpool are, I hate to say it as a Chelsea fan, but they are having an insane window.
Ridiculous
and let's
window.
face it, they're in pole position for Isak, aren't they?
Well, so Fabrizio's come out again. Obviously, Fabrizio likes to put about 10 tweets out every time something happens. But he says, understand Alexander Isak remains a target for Liverpool even after signing Ekitike, but depends on Newcastle. If Newcastle open the doors to an exit and Liverpool sell Diaz, they can bid after direct contacts made 10 days ago. Isak not in concrete talks with Al Hilal.
Yeah,
that's just what Fabrizio's just come out
whether
with.
he'll go there. If anything, it'll be
I think he wants to win a Prem.
Yeah.
And I feel like Newcastle, he has kind of hit his ceiling because Newcastle, as we can see in this window, maybe geographically, they just can't get the players that they would like to be able to get. Missing out on João Pedro, missing out on Ekitike, all these other guys. So they've got Elanga, which is a good sign-in for their system, but I feel like also caps them at like, they're not going for a title anytime soon. They're not going for Champions League winners.
They're doubling down on transitions, Newcastle are.
Yeah.
Like, Elanga is almost the epitome of a transition winger. Good goal scoring, but he's quick and he works hard and he's good with the ball at his feet. They just seem to be doubling down on being a team that hits on the break, which isn't the kind of football you want to play if you want to break in from kind of the 7th, 8th category to the top 6 category in the Prem.
Consistently as well. Because obviously last time they were in the Champions League, then they fell out of it and now they're back in.
Because you can't play transition football twice a week against elite teams in the Champions League and in the Premier League. It just doesn't work.
Do you think they'll make top 5 next season for Champions League, or do you think they'll miss out?
Not now.
Just they're like a yo-yo.
They've missed out. Newcastle have missed out on almost every single one of their top targets, and now might be losing Isak.
And you have to remember as well, Isak was such an integral part of everything they did last season.
And they also lost Callum Wilson, who I know was injury prone, but was a great goal scorer in his prime.
They put in a bid for Wissa.
Yeah.
They did about 25 million, which is half of what Brentford want. So they might go back in. If they lose Isak, they might definitely go in for Wissa.
I think they probably might go in for Darwin Núñez.
No, I think they need Mateta from Palace.
No, they won't get Mateta.
You don't think so?
No.
Depends on what happens.
Mateta's already expressed that he's happy at Palace.
Okay.
But I think it depends on what happens on his contract. Mateta's got 2 years left. And if Palace don't win their appeal to be back in the Europa League, I think they were in contract extension talks with Mateta, and then they kind of stalled after Palace dropped out of the Europa League. So if they then don't win this appeal to get back in it, then Mateta might not sign a new deal and think, Mateta's 27.
I think he's got 1 year left on his deal, but maybe they have an option
it's a
to
+1.
+1.
I mean,
but that is effectively 2 years.
I should qualify that by saying that, as we've seen with Isak, players say they're happy and got until something happens. I'm not sure if Newcastle will be a big enough.
I think it would be Champions League football for Mateta. I think in a World Cup year for France, guaranteed to start. I think it would be a big move for him.
Possibly,
especially
it'll be a great signing.
Oh yeah, I think that would be the perfect
guy
to come in. Obviously, it's not as good as Isak.
Especially if you've got Elanga on the wing supplying the bullets.
That's what I mean. Like, you saw how they beat Man City in the FA Cup last season. The goal they scored was lumping up to Mateta. Mateta then passes it on to Munoz. Munoz then, I think it was Munoz. Literally the most quintessential counter attack you can possibly do. And if Newcastle are really doubling it, Eddie Howe is looking at having Gordon, Barnes, Elanga, and co on transition. Mateta
this is what happens with this transfer game, and something big happens, and there's a real domino effect right across, not just in this country, across.
They're
Europe.
saying in the chat, what about Sesko? Cut price now down to 60 million. Leipzig probably looking to move him on before the Premier League teams get their strikers for the next 3 years, 4 years lined up.
What, for Newcastle?
Maybe
as an option. You know what? That's a good shout. I think he could do it because he's 22. He can be at Newcastle. Well, Isak went there when he was 20. Developed into a fantastic striker. Sesko goes there at 22.
Similar type risk, isn't it? Not necessarily battered it down at the previous club, but still got the high potential.
Yeah. But as well as Newcastle, with slight respect to Newcastle, it's not as big as being at a club like Sesko going to United, for example, or let's say you were to get rid of Jackson going to Chelsea.
Well, what kind of money we're talking about, you reckon,
for 120
This 120 minimum.
This might lower it if Isak goes, I'm done here. But 9 figures. Yeah. Easily 9 figures.
120 to 130, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
That apparently really has put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, I know you're stressed. Matisse is shaking, or they're saying Matitis is shaking, they're saying in the chat. Big up for the super chat, Burner Gamer. Yeah, I'll let you know after the show why that joke exists. I'm a Liverpool fan, lads, 32 years following, and I'm stunned by this. I know a few lads back home, and they're clued up, and they said this has been on since January. The problem has always been Newcastle, says Benjamin. Sebastian says master plan by Newcastle. This giving Liverpool The idea of a 4-4-2 for Isak and Ekitike up front, gotta love it. You'll never walk alone. I must say, that whole back and forth, like who's going to win the battle between Isak, Ekitike, Newcastle getting the upper hand, Liverpool getting the upper hand. If they're leaving with both, I'm sorry to say that is just
Newcastle
ridiculous.
have been humbled this window. They wanted Cunha, and Cunha came to 15th place. They wanted Mbumo came to 15th place. They wanted Ekitike and Isak on their front three.
Well, we did a show a couple of weeks ago. I think you were on that show, were you, Matisse? Alex,
yes,
you,
I was.
And I actually said, I predicted that Isak would go then. But then they got Ekitike. I thought, okay, maybe they're holding on to him. But
Al Hilal preparing a bid of 130 million for Isak. According to Alex Crook.
Yeah, so you see when we said the price might come down, this is what will push it back up.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Isak definitely wants to go to Liverpool and he's rejecting flat out any Saudi offers, then Newcastle can't really use that to their advantage, because at the end of the day, he's the one that's got to sign for personal terms and whatnot. So yeah, this is going to be the biggest transfer of the summer after Wirtz, most likely, if this goes through, and it looks like it will.
The Newcastle fans must be so upset.
Well, and they're both Liverpool.
Yeah. Jerk Haggis says money can't buy geography, which basically is what this is. It's Newcastle not being located in Manchester or London
or Liverpool,
because if they were, I think they would get the players that they wanted a lot easier.
That certainly there is an element of that to it. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a nice super chat coming in saying that I should host the next 4 shows. AGT's benched. I won't be hosting the next 4 shows. I'll just say that right now. sorry to disappoint you. All right. Well, listen, if there's more updates on Isak, of course, we'll bring it back. But we are going to move on because Rashford was unveiled at Barcelona. Lovely little promo video, number 14 shirt. Obviously, Thierry Henry's number, following in the footsteps of Gary Lineker. Dylan, I'll start with you. Obviously, that's your player out there on loan with an option to buy. How do you feel about this from all sides?
More than anything, I am happy for him. I know Rashford is a divisive character, especially in the United's fan base. There's a certain section that feel like he didn't work hard enough, or he took the club for granted, blah, blah, blah. But personally,
I think that's universal, isn't it?
No, no chance. No way.
No, I'm not saying
that
the dislike is universal, but I think it's fair to say that he wasn't putting it in.
I feel like there's 2 really distinct sides to this story that I feel that to a certain extent they're both correct. It's like Rashford wasn't playing at his best, right? He had 1 30-goal season and 2 20-plus goal seasons across his nine seasons. I'd say eight full seasons, because his first season he was at 18. And some of those seasons, you're 20, 21, 22, you're still getting up there. So of his seasons where I'd say he's a seasoned professional, 3 of his 6 were great seasons, scoring 20-plus goals, 1 being 30 goals. And I've always liked him. I like the style of player he is. He's exciting, and when he's on fire, he's on fire. For example, do you remember that game a few years ago when him and Saka both scored just absolutely outrageous goals at the Emirates, where he scored first and Saka scored a lovely goal in the second half? That was brilliant. I remember watching Arsenal fans come out of that game afterwards and go, I've never been more scared of a player in my life than Marcus Rashford on form, and that's true. And that's what I think is going to happen at Barcelona. I think he's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're going to sign him for an outrageously low 26 million or 30 million, whatever it is, which is a fantastic deal for them. He's off our books wages-wise, and wages isn't at Chelsea. You've had this issue before with wages.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really important that you fix your wages books. So we've taken a hit on the transfer fee, but getting rid of that extra 15 to 20 million that we were going to have to pay out over the course of the year for him, if he was to stay, United have got what they wanted there. Amram's got what he wanted in that Rashford's not in the squad. Physically, he is much further away from the club now, so the noise, I do think, is going to be much further away, which is good for everyone involved, because it was getting very heated and very he said, she said, and very everyone was just kind of saying what they want and then just blocking their ears and not listening to anything else. So I'm happy for him. I'm sad that he's going, because on a personal level, I've always liked him, but it's also the right thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said there is correct. However, I would say this.
Yes.
The numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. When you analyse his running stats, distance covered, tracking back, and we all saw those videos of him. What game was it? The Liverpool game? It was pretty much walking around.
I believe so, yeah. It was really bad.
So even myself, as an admirer of Rashford, I mean, I've seen that guy I've said this before on previous shows. I watched him against Italy at Wembley for England. Outstanding. So there is a player there, no doubt about it. But there's also no doubt that he dropped the ball last season, which led to him leaving. So He's got a lot to prove. His motivation levels, however, now are going to be through the roof. I mean, you even saw the energy of which he had at the press conference where he spoke. I've never seen Rashford.
Well,
so
you see, his
effusive
praise...
and articulate. You know what I mean?
Was he speaking Spanish?
No, he wasn't speaking Spanish, but
No.
he did impress people because the way he was speaking, you could see, man, that he's totally
Going up for Prime Minister.
yeah.
I
You know what I
think
mean? So
the Barcelona stuff also, that's not new. He's been talking at Barcelona. When we played at Barcelona, played them in the Europa League a few years ago, and he scored against them. He had a fantastic game at Camp Nou. I think it was either before or after the game, or maybe a bit after the game. He was like, "Yeah, I've always wanted to score at Camp Nou. I've always wanted to play at Camp Nou." Like, because it's a dream, especially if you're like in your late 20s at the moment. You grew up watching that MSN side. You grew up watching Barcelona win the treble when you were like 13, 14, 15, etc.
Yeah.
Barcelona is so attractive, and so for him, he's got a move that he's actually I'm not going to say wanted as in he wanted to leave United, but a move that has always probably appealed to him.
well, I don't know if you know, he said a couple of weeks
And
ago
I'm
that
happy
he
for
wanted to pair up with Yamal, didn't he?
Of
He
course.
actually, it's on the
Who
record.
wouldn't?
as
Who
saying
wouldn't?
that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but the fact that he said that.
Yeah,
Weeks
that I
before
wasn't.
this move
I
was
wasn't
even
massively
mooted.
happy with that because he went and did 24 hours with a Barcelona streamer, and I'm like, you're still a United player. That was something that I wasn't.
Yeah.
That didn't sit right with me. But on the balance of things, to answer your question, I'm happy for him, and it's the right thing to do. But I'm sad to see him go.
Yeah. We also saw Anthony go over there and rip it up at Real Betis as well. So I feel like Rashford's a much, much better player than him. So if he can,
easily.
especially in Hansi Flick, where it is just all out attack over there.
The question is, though, what car's he going to drive?
Bruh, it's crazy to see that reported
man.
constantly. Like that whole like narrative and that whole way of breaking down a player's performance or
A
commitment
lot of people,
as a
ex-players, have embarrassed themselves.
it's just ridiculous, bro.
It's also
right.
so pointless.
Like,
Who cares?
Like, okay, so if he's in form, it's never spoken about. But as soon as he goes out of form, is he meant to sell his car and downgrade
I
to just make sure that it looks good? I don't understand what the
certain ex-players have not
Well, it's
shown
like-
themselves in a good light.
It's like
I mean,
Sterling getting ripped into for buying his mum a house a few years ago. I don't know if you remember that as well.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
it's
I think there are some times when ex-players, man, they need to be a little bit more careful in the way
they can't be careful because that is exactly what
How
they
they
mean
feel,
to say
yeah,
and how they
yeah,
feel, and they're
yeah.
just
They just
they're
expose
comfortable.
themselves, don't it?
Yeah, they're
Sheringham,
comfortable.
Saunders.
As Sol Campbell said, is it a colour thing?
Well, I
It's
mean, we haven't
crazy.
got time to go there on this show, but let's just say they've not covered themselves in glory with those comments. But to go back to Rashford, I mean, listen, man, as I said before, motivation levels will be through the roof. I mean, there's, a year's loan with an option to buy.
So it's the reports are
30.
bizarre, right? It's so there's some people saying 40, some people saying 30, some saying 26. But it came out last night again by I can't remember who said it. A pretty semi-decent report for United said that what it is it's 26 million plus 4.3 in add-ons as like the option that they kind of say, yeah, we're activating that. But I think it becomes an obligation met under certain conditions. I don't know what they are. But this is just what the latest reports was last night, was that it turns into an obligation if certain conditions, that might be appearances or goals, or if they win the league or if they win the
Did you
Champions
check
League.
that
or
there
cup or
wasn't a
something.
5 million send back?
There is. there's another penalty clause.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there is, and it's less than Sancho's.
Oh my days! At least you guys know now, because you didn't know the Sancho one. It just kind of broke like towards the back end of the season, and everyone was like,
true,
"No
yeah.
way is this actually gonna happen."
The Sancho one was, I think, just the case of the whole deal was hashed out in about 6 hours.
Yeah,
And so Chelsea didn't have time to sit down with Sancho and go, this is your post-loan contract.
yeah.
Because that's what normally happens. If you go on loan with an obligation, the player pre-agrees to a contract for once they sign with the club permanently.
Yeah.
Sancho couldn't do that because it was like 10 p.m. and the transfer window was over
And then
at
I
11
think
p.m.
the wages that he did want were too high. To
Yeah,
what we
you offered him about 150 or something like that.
which is
And then-
exactly, I think, where he sits
Yeah.
right now.
Because
he
what
wanted,
you
like-
guys do, you offer long contracts on low wages,
Yeah.
and then after 2 years, you bump the wages up.
That
so they
still
play
would have
well.
put him really close with like Cole Palmer's, Caicedo's.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
But
baffles me,
and he wanted what 250 or
yeah,
something
which
like
was
that.
never gonna happen.
I mean, we all know in life, not just in football, in any area of life, motivation's a very powerful force.
Huge.
If someone's hugely motivated, normally they will get the best out of themselves. However, there is one slight thing looming on the horizon with this move, is that if Rashford goes there and does not get the minutes that he expects to get or thought he would have got, will that then be a bit of a detractor in his mind? Will he be thinking, oh, here we go again?
I don't think so, you know.
No?
I think I felt like he should have left Man United years ago. I just felt like it was getting too toxic. The British press and all of the stuff surrounding him, I just felt like he needed to get out. And I think regardless of whether he's on the bench, impact sub, whatever, I think he's going to knuckle down over there.
I think the chances of him not getting the minutes or not getting the time is minimal. I think he'll start. He might not start immediately. He's a bit late to pre-season and all that. He might
to displace, though.
But I reckon if
Rafinha
they run
like
Lewandowski up top and then Yamal on the right, Rafinha in the middle, Rashford on the left, and also I think Rashford could bench Rafinha. I am.
Wow.
Honestly, I am a United fan. I'm a United fan, so I will. I'm well known that I'm saying this with a certain amount of bias. Someone who likes Rashford, but having watched Rashford at his best, the guy is incredibly good, a crazy good winger.
I'm just thinking about the season.
And he could. And
Rafinha's captain.
he could.
Rafinha's captain as well.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
That's the only thing.
This is why I initially said the Rafinha in the middle. I think Flick will find a way to make sure Rashford's in that team. That could be at number 9.
Remember, he's got Balde. I don't know if he's injured at the moment or if he's going to be back, but he'll be coming off the left as well, left back position, overlapping Rashford. That is going to be crazy.
This is what I mean. Like, Rashford is, I think. Sorry, reading some of the comments.
Apparently, there's more numbers. We're going to get to it in a minute.
They're not too happy with me.
Because of the Rafinha
benching the Rafinha thing.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. I'll retract that one.
I mean, Rafinha is having a Ballon d'Or.
Wait for Rashford to settle in, month or so, August being in September, then see where the two are at. Because I've got faith that Rashford is going to just absolutely smash it.
Quick super chat from earlier as well. They was asking you, Dylan. Well, they're not asking, they're saying, in fact, if Kobe Mainoo is sold, they will be Almiron and Ineos out. Is that how strongly you feel about Kobe Mainoo? Because I guess where does he really sit right now? Subplot, but where does he really even sit in this 3-4-3 right now?
Kobe Mainoo's not leaving. If you want comfort on Kobe Mainoo's future, he's not. I'm so sure, unless something goes really wrong in the next couple weeks, he's not leaving this summer. Almiron really likes him. Almiron's always been full of praise for Mainoo. And the reason,
but he didn't really play him that much.
Because he was injured. Mainoo got like 3 injuries last season. So this is the thing. I feel no one's really thought about this with Mainoo. And people just aren't saying this. Mainoo came back late from pre-season because he was at the Euros last summer, right? And then he came back, but he then started in our first game of the season against Fulham, played 90 minutes. He then played 90 minutes in like 14 of the next 12 games without a pre-season. Then got injured. He got injured, and then Almiron came in. Almiron then worked with him for a couple of weeks, but then Mainoo got injured again. Yeah. So when Almiron was figuring out his whole team, Mainoo was on the treatment bench. You couldn't even watch him in training. Yeah. Then Mainoo came back, and he started playing well. He had a really good game in the Europa League, and he played against Palace. And then he got injured again. And so when Almiron was when it became really obvious that we were just all guns blazing on that Europa League final, and that Europa League run, Almiron was sorting out who he wanted to make sure was in the court, in the same as in the finals. Mainoo was injured, so didn't even have a shot at getting into the team. And by the time Mainoo then came back, Almiron, I think, had made his mind up and didn't want to make any changes. Yeah. And up until the final, it was the right idea because we got through against Lyon again, dodgily, but we beat Athletic Club when everyone thought we wouldn't. We got through to the final. We then played horrendously against Spurs, but you can't change that. Yeah. But I think for the most part, Mainoo was just suffering the consequences of not being fit at key times in Almiron's decision-making. But this summer, he's fit. He's had a whole summer off. He's been doing loads of legwork. He looks, I've been getting lots of roasting for this, but saying he looks a lot leaner than he did, which for someone who needs to be, when Almiron's looking for a very, very athletic midfielder, that's important. That's what you need to be. You can't be bulky. You need to be lean and fit and quick.
He's got to be box to box, and he's got to be able to defend. I think defensively, if he can improve, that will be big for him because Man United right now, the only place I can really see him playing is at pivot now that Mbeumo and Cunha are basically taking the double
I think he
tens.
can play there. He maybe not as good last season because we didn't have a lot of the ball, but this season hopefully we had literally physically have more of the ball, so Mainoo can be on the ball more, and that's when he shines the most.
It's a big season for him because obviously it's World Cup year. Yeah. So if he can get regular football,
but I have full confidence.
Because I mean, he broke into the England side, made a big impression on people, and then he kind of went quiet, like you said.
Because it's because of injuries and circumstance. I'm so confident that Kobe Mainoo is a good enough player that he will play and win Almiron over because he's that good. He just we've all seen it, and I know there's Spurs interest in Kobe Mainoo, but
They're also looking at Paulinho as well.
It's kind of Fugazi reports, I think, with the Spurs stuff. There's no like real major outlets have said that. And the only issue with Mainoo is if he doesn't sign a new contract. He's got 2 years left now, so next summer is his last year. I think if he doesn't sign a new deal, then we might be in trouble because United will want to lose him for free. But again, I also think that he'll sign a new deal. He's 20.
He's a Manchester lad.
Exactly.
If you had to put a price on him, before I go to super chats, what would be the figure for you?
As in what I would accept this summer?
Yeah.
80. 70, 80 million.
That's
but because
steep.
We've seen him.
Oh,
you've seen. 20.
I haven't seen enough for 70.
20.
It's what I mean. He's 20 years old.
Wow.
He's not some 24-year-old player who's kind of had a couple injuries.
I thought he was about 22, 3.
He's a kid.
No.
He's a kid.
He
was playing in that World Cup final, starting over Trent Alexander-Arnold, Real Madrid's new golden boy, at 19.
I'll say 60, 65 maybe.
No. I wouldn't want to see.
He said 80.
70.
No, that's a bit,
I wouldn't.
I think 60 is a bit more.
Because that's what he's worth to us, at least now. And he'll be worth more once he signs a new contract.
But having said that, I can't see him leaving anytime soon.
I'm very confident in that.
Tanisha says Newcastle went from 4-4-2 to 4-4-0 real quick. Let's see, another super chat coming in here says, Berta, please sell Havertz to get Gordon and Rodrigo. I've heard about Gordon links as well. I do wonder, because obviously Bruno Guimaraes and Gordon and all these guys probably would have been really pumped for what Newcastle could be, but when you lose someone of Isak's ilk, it's almost like, should I also be thinking about an exit? So I don't know, it's going to be interesting. Juno says, Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony will all ball out when they leave Manchester United permanently. Do you think that'll be I mean, Anthony already kind of has. Rashford, you're saying, will at Barca. Sancho, where will he go? Garnacho, hopefully not to Chelsea. What do you make? Is any of those guys that you even wanted to keep, or you feel like the club have made a mistake in the way that it's gone for them? Or
I'm annoyed that we're going to be letting go of Garnacho.
Okay.
It's one of those things that I kind of understand why. And ultimately,
surely his position there is untenable, isn't he? Garnacho, surely
untenable. His position.
Yeah, at United.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I feel like
there's too much gone under the bridge now.
But
especially
this is what I mean. Like because thinking about him coming together. Coming up at United, we bought him from when he was like 14 or 15 when he was at Atletico. Brought him through the ranks. He made his debut. Scored that, won the Puskas Award for that bicycle kick, scored in the first goal in the FA Cup final when we beat Man City. I love this story, and I just wish his story would have continued, but it's just gone the wrong way. And it's one of those things where I've just got to sit back and go, it is what it is.
You know what? It smacks me with Garnacho. And I mean, listen, you know him more than me, being a United fan, watch him every week, but I sense a level of immaturity there. I think if he goes to the right club with the right environment, obviously he's going to get older and wiser. There's definitely a player.
To be taken a peg down or two.
Yeah,
I think he's got to be taken a peg down or two. There's.
But to go back to my earlier point, I cannot see a world. I don't know what you think, Matisse, where Garnacho goes back to United.
No, because the manager.
No. It's done. It's
gone.
completely done.
No.
And I wish it had been different because he's a player with good potential.
I mean,
maybe
he seems to like Villa.
World-class potential, but good potential. He works hard and he's got a good strike on him.
Judging by
times.
his attire, he seems to love Villa. So
I actually think there's a solid chance he might end up there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go Chelsea and he wants to stay in the Prem,
please just go to Villa.
like Spurs have signed Kudus, and I don't think there's been some tenuous link with Spurs, but I don't think they wouldn't sign him.
No.
Arsenal aren't going to sign him because you guys want Eze and stuff. I don't know what other.
I feel like Villa need like 1 in 1 out situation. So you're looking at Rodgers. Would he go? Watkins has been linked to United as well.
I think Watkins. I think there might be something in the Watkins Garnacho stuff.
And not
at
only
some
that,
point.
I think we spoke about maturity. I think if Garnacho goes to a club like Villa with the manager and the environment that they seem to have there, I think he could flourish.
Yeah, Emery does get good.
Well, reports say that Emery likes him.
But then also Villa would need a striker, and they've also been linked with Jackson. And the Chelsea fans coming in and said, dreaming that Chelsea will do some sort of 80 million Isak bid plus Jackson.
Where is his best position then? You think?
Garnacho
on the left,
left wing, but he's good on both wings. Yeah. He's shown it on both wings.
And I'm thinking that Leon Bailey is about to leave Villa, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think so.
On the left, so
there's a lot of change right now.
I could see him going there. Honestly,
I think this window is going to
This window.
This
is
window's
insane.
it's going to explode in a couple. I mean, it's
already
been
has.
insane already, but I mean, like, it's just been like Liverpool going,
Yeah.
all right, we're the best. We're now better. We're now better. We're now better. We're now better with all their signings.
Yeah.
And then Man City obviously made like what 4 signings for the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
You made a couple signings as well, and you brought in
Quite-
Gittins and
quite-
stuff.
In fact, the more-
you signed a whole new squad as always.
yeah.
The more I think about it, man, Isak's gone.
Yeah, it's done.
No,
It's
think
gonna happen.
after this
Yeah.
this Fabrizio
He's
stuff's come
gone.
out.
It's a matter of
He's
time,
It's
and I've heard as well that the directors at Newcastle have very good relationships and Eddie Howe with Liverpool's directors as well. So they're trying to make this as professional as possible.
Ooh, friends.
So I think it will. Now that I've heard that today,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
me
much
too,
locked
yeah.
in that it's
Yeah,
going
that's
to
done.
happen.
And there's also rumours I'm seeing now that Newcastle already like looking at.
Pushing, and they're going to
Pushing
bid
for-
more for Wissa, I'm sure,
Yeah,
and they're going to push
yeah.
for more forwards.
Wow, what an
You know what?
amazing-
It wouldn't be a bad shout if Newcastle went for the that Porto striker, 22-year-old.
Samuel,
Yeah,
that's
he's
a shout.
good.
That's a shout. as well.
Villa are linked with him as a possible
He only just
Watkins
got there last year, though,
replacement.
didn't he?
He went there from Atletico,
Yeah.
but he was.
You know
I
what
mean,
I see though? I reckon
like him.
Nicholas Jackson to Newcastle. I can
Jackson,
see
Sesko,
that. Yeah.
those are the two that are.
Do you
interesting.
reckon you're being a bit ridiculous with your 80 million Jackson stuff?
Yes.
Is that just you posturing?
We are doing too much, but I feel like
No, but you might get that.
I
mean,
don't
if
want
the-
us to be desperate to sell him anyway, because I do feel like when you go into a Champions League campaign, you should go into that with 3 strikers. If you're
Yeah,
gonna,
but you
if you're
take
gonna
the
go-
money for that, wouldn't you?
If it's 80 or 70,
Yeah.
I would. But what I'm saying is, I don't think Chelsea should just be pushing him out the door relentlessly, because at the end of the day, he's still got a lot of years left on his contract. He doesn't make a whole pile of money, so he's quite easy to entertain sales in the future seasons anyway. And like I said, we should be pushing for all 4 comps. Last season, we got dumped out the Carabao early, dumped out the FA Cup early to Newcastle and Brighton. And then obviously, Conference League is completely chalk and cheese to Champions League. So I feel like João Pedro, Delap, Jackson is a perfect blend of what you need to go into a campaign, especially when you're coming off the back of a Club World Cup where you've just exhausted yourselves in America as well. I feel like we have perfect harmony there with that, but obviously it's down to the player if he actually wants to play more regular game time.
But if he perceives a world where he's going to get regular first team football at Newcastle,
Yeah.
and let's be honest, if he goes there
And
we all
stay
know
in the Prem.
Newcastle love a number 9. If he goes there, gets his head down, works, scores goals,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Newcastle
It would
fans
suit.
will.
It would suit
Yeah,
him and
yeah.
Wissa would be.
I could
very
see that,
interesting.
I could
'Cause
see it.
I feel like Newcastle need to sign 2 strikers now.
Yeah,
absolutely. So
100%.
it's over for all you guys. Isak in, Diaz out. We're in the end game now. Liverpool fans have, and I don't say this to drag you, but for a long time they've said, we don't have the money, or we have to do things differently, or we can't compete. They are having a lot of fun right now. Now they know
They're in dreamland.
Now they know how we felt when we've got the big bombers.
But they're
You know
signing
what
good
I mean?
players.
Now they know what it's like to just get transfer news just coming in. See, it's addictive. I told you, you'd love it. You know what I mean?
Transfer dopamine
You used to
is
always,
different.
some of you guys, transfers.
With regards
not
to us, though,
interested.
do I sense a bit of deflation? I'm trying not to feel a sense of deflation.
What, Arsenal?
Yeah, because
You're about to sign Big Gyok, mate.
I know.
Glock 9, bro.
You're about to sign
is there a
Grok.
sense of
Madueke?
deflation?
Yes, there
because
should be a
Isak
sense of
was our
deflation
number
for
1
you,
choice,
yes.
and we could live with that if he'd have stayed at Newcastle.
Well,
But for him to go to Liverpool, I mean, that's crazy.
Well, it's because Liverpool's more of a step up than Arsenal is, I think, at the moment.
No, what I'm saying is that we could live with Isak staying at Newcastle.
Oh, but your number
But him
1 going
now
somewhere
to
else.
Liverpool, especially at this late stage.
But did you not accept ages ago that you weren't getting Isak?
But now Kesley in Superchat saying now Arsenal must respond by signing Rodrigo, and I agree. I think now,
That
as well
would
as
be-
Eze.
I mean, you needed Rodrigo and Eze in my opinion anyway. If you were
Yeah.
serious about winning the league, now that Liverpool are going to get Isak most likely, you have to get both. I'm serious. You have to
Have,
retaliate.
have
You make
Arsenal,
it sound
have
so
Arsenal got the
simple.
cash?
Yeah, I know it's not simple, but you must find the money.
Have
must.
you got? I was about to say, where have you got the cash? I actually don't know.
No, we'd have to sell a whole amount of players.
Who would you be up for selling in order to fund? Let's say
There's a few.
there's a real possibility where you can get both Rodrigo and Eze in the next 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Who would you be happy to go out the door?
There's a few, man. I mean, Zinchenko. Fabio
But these are
Vieira,
players you have to sell for high enough fees to raise the funds to buy
yeah,
them.
this is that.
Waneri's
that is-
just signed a new deal.
This is why I'm asking.
No, we want to keep Wanyeri, man.
Yeah, but he would get some decent money, Waneri.
Yeah, but we're not
What about
selling
Saliba?
him.
They just
No,
signed
we're
that.
not selling him, mate. No,
Are you
not
sure you don't want to sell him just
No,
before the
no,
1 year
no.
contract
Did
left?
you see him
next summer?
yesterday? Rolls Royce, bro.
I'm just saying, if you need money,
that doesn't mean that he might not
you
leave.
need money
though.
in it. Ala Madrid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you lopside the team again.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep throwing questions at you now, Laurie. What about some sort of Rodrigo Saliba exchange with Real Madrid? Because
that is crazy.
Real Madrid want Saliba, no,
That
right?
is cheeky.
I'm just saying, if you feel like your defense is so
personally,
solid,
no. Saliba is an absolute integral part of our team.
do you think
100%.
that would be downgrading Arsenal's starting 11 if you swapped Rodrigo for Saliba?
I
That's a
actually
good question.
I actually do.
What? But this Mosquera...
Because what you're doing, in effect, is that you're selling one of your best players, right? Arguably one of your most naturally talented players. You're bringing in a guy that's never played in the Premier League, and you're also seriously reducing one of the areas of the team that's been so strong, the defence. That partnership with Saliba and Gabriel, that's been gold for us.
So you think it's...
So you're detracting from that to bring in a guy who, whilst is a very talented player, never played in the Premier League. Nah, you can't be doing that.
So risk.
What I would say,
too
though,
high.
we do have players that,
Martinelli,
possibly even Martinelli,
Trossard,
Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, maybe even Kivior.
Do you reckon you can kind of dig up some of the peripheral players
Nelson.
to raise the funds?
better hurry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there isn't a lot. This is.
I mean, there is time, but there isn't.
No, there's not.
Because at the end of the day,
this is what I'm panicking about, man.
This whole what's happened today.
He's stressed.
Yeah.
Yo,
I can see.
Last week he was there betting me. No. Now he's not. He knows that Premier League title is slipping away every report that comes out. David Ornstein's just tweeted actually. Alexander Isak wants to leave Newcastle United. Absence from Celtic friendly plus Asia tour. 25-year-old's preference. Keen for Sweden international striker to stay on improved deal, but also exploring potential replacements.
What do you think tipped Isak over the edge? Do you think it was the Etikike signing then?
No, I think it's honestly.
I think he's low-key thought about it for a while.
Yeah, I think he knows that Newcastle.
No, but why not have? Because he would have
capped.
got his move to Liverpool sooner if he'd have said that before they bought Etikike.
And I think maybe, I think this is completely hypothetical. I know nothing here. But I think what it might be is Newcastle. Isak may be regretting being too respectful to Newcastle initially in the window, that he's therefore missed out on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On his move. So therefore now he's basically swung the other way and gone, no. I've always wanted to leave, but I need to make this known now, rather than just being, I like Newcastle.
Yeah.
They've been good to me, and we'll see what happens.
Because Newcastle are not going to sell him if he doesn't start putting some pressure on.
Exactly, and I think he's regretting not putting pressure on now, so he's now doubling down and putting double pressure on.
But I think Liverpool's representatives would have told him Isak the Ikitike deal is not related to the Isak deal in terms of we can get both. So don't worry about Ikitike. We can get you as well.
Also, Isak, doesn't matter if they got Ikitike because Isak still starts at Liverpool.
So Ikitike then plays on the left?
No, it's just two strikers. If they're getting rid of Darwin Nunez, they've got two strikers. They've got 60 games next season. They will be playing.
He's stressed.
Liverpool will be playing 60 games next season.
I could have lived with it if Isak stayed at Newcastle, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, fine, but for them,
and it means you could still get him next summer or something.
And Isak,
and them moving this aggressively is potentially swaying Konate to sign a new deal. And we all know who Real Madrid's other centre-back target is, and that is Saliba. So there's a knock-on effect even there, because if Konate signs a new deal, we know Real Madrid are not going to slump up the cash to pay for someone who's signed a new 5-year deal. They're going to be looking at the next person that's contract is expiring in them, I believe, 2027, if I have it correct, Saliba. So he's got 2 years left, starting from this summer.
Well, I mean, those Arsenal fans who live in the real world, and I would include myself in that, we all are resigned that one day
Saliba's going.
Oh, okay.
But we're kind of thinking that will be at least another season. But it is going to happen.
Oh, okay. So then we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Great.
So, but not now.
Fantastic. Let's go. Move
Fantastic. I don't need to debate. Everybody understands
it is
each
what
other.
it is, isn't it? You've seen what happened with other players, Mbappe, with Trent. Once Real Madrid come looking,
it's so annoying, man. This is why I'm so surprised to this day that we signed Euro.
Football life.
I can't believe we managed to get Euro. That's because Real Madrid's knock is Real Madrid's knock, right? Yeah. Then we managed to sign Lenny Euro. To me, I still find that mad that we managed to sign a player that good while we've been this shit.
I do like Euro. Good player.
He's such a good centre back.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to start saying that now, as of next season. I feel he's not really rated outside of United for the most part because he started playing well towards the back end of the season when everyone stopped watching us because we were crap. But I think next season, is a good, very big season, good season for Lenny.
Centre backs, I'm not sure if you agree with me, but for me, Virgil 1, Saliba 2.
In what barometer here?
Oh, in terms of the Premier League?
Yeah.
Prem centre backs. Yeah. So you rate Saliba over Gabriel?
In terms of natural talent, yes.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I feel like Gabriel at point had a better season than Saliba.
Do you rate Saliba over Gabriel in terms of natural talent, but would rather keep Gabriel, or would you rather keep Saliba if you had the choice of the two?
That's a great question.
Gabriel's older, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. In terms of youth and injuries and stuff like that, you would have to say Saliba. But like I said, if you live in the real world as an Arsenal fan, you've kind of almost resigned yourself to the notion that at some point he's going to go, not too distant. Whereas Gabriel's got much more.
And I do believe that signing from Valencia is almost
gearing
him up to be Saliba's replacement because he's too young and talented as well to just be.
He's also a right-sided centre back.
Yeah.
I think the writing's on the wall there, and I did it with Trent, and I'm doing it with Saliba as well. I just know what's coming. So just prepare yourselves, Arsenal fans, because I did this with Liverpool fans. They didn't want to listen. I'm now telling you, just prepare, man. Just prepare. Don't fight. Don't fight this. BB Daniel says, funny how as a Chelsea I never really cared about Rashford much, but after the Saunders brain fart, I am now rooting for him, even if he's playing for Barca. And obviously we don't like Barca that much at all.
That is, that is a very good point there, because it's almost a bit like with the Madueke thing as well.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of few of the Arsenal fans were not having Madueke, myself included. I wasn't sure about him. I had reservations. But the minute all the bullying started and all that, all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I hope he comes and I hope he does really well.
It's for the story.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool fans are now going to universally get behind Rashford as well now, because he's going to cook Trent every single time they play against each other in Atletico. But I think as well, it's like Rashford's just going to... He's now an England player who's playing not in England.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot more unity behind him.
Facts. Because he's not playing for a rival.
Exactly. It's just that I hope he's as good as possible, because then in the World Cup, he starts on that left wing with Harry Kane, Saka on the right. Yeah. That's England's best.
When you've got ex-players actually coming out, Sheringham said, I hope he doesn't get the move. I'm like, bro, you're doing way too much. Yeah,
doing way too much. And I feel like this is why probably other countries and nations have more unity in their national team, because their players probably do play overseas more. So then their rivalries in their own domestic leagues don't really maybe play as big a part as it does
even
over
though
here.
Sheringham's a United guy. This is what's how I find it even more baffling, is Sheringham is a Man United, he scored in the 99 final for us. He's a Man United legend.
You know what that smacks of? His hatred for Rashford is more than his love for Man United.
Yeah, which is, I think,
and that's
disgusting.
a shame, isn't it? That is poor.
Because if you're a Man United fan, whether you rate him or you don't, if you rate him, then you definitely want him to do well, so he can prove to everyone why he's so good and why you're right. And if you don't rate him, you want him to do well because you want Barcelona to pay for him.
Exactly.
So there's literally no reason for you to be hating on Rashford at Barcelona.
You should be saying to yourself, you know what, he's
personal.
not our player anymore. He's not in the Premier League, so he's not going to affect our fortunes.
Facts.
Do what you
do well.
We hope you do well. We'll get the money and
exactly.
move on.
It's the same with Anthony. When Anthony was crap for us and he was playing week in, week out and no one could stand him, everyone was like, I'll get him out of the team. But as soon as he went to Betis, United fans were like, I hope he smashes it. And then when everyone was clowning United for being like, oh, look at your player doing so well, I was sat there going, great, good, sick. Now Atletico Madrid are in for him. He's worth so much around Betis, probably can't even pay for him, and we'll get good money for it. I'm so happy that Anthony was absolutely smashing it.
So poor from Sheringham. But anyway.
A super chat just came in. Could Liverpool snatch your Invincibles chain, Laurie?
No, we're not going to go there.
I don't think that's happening again.
I don't think that's happening again for now.
From a Barcelona fan, says John Cena, we are happy and excited to have Rashford. Viva la Barça. Yeah, I mean, I think you should be. You obviously missed out on Williams, that whole saga with...
Bro, I got a lot of stick, and I said that when he was falling out of favour with you guys, I said, I'll take Rashford at Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
He's a hell of a winger. He's 27.
And I got a lot of stick for saying that.
He's 27
He's been about
old,
for so
man.
long, it feels like he's older than that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's actually... Like
it's like you and Xavi Simons, or Xavi, as we said yesterday. He wants to be called just Xavi. It feels like Xavi's been around for like 10 years, but he's 22.
Yeah.
And he's now just getting, potentially you're in like advanced talks room or whatever it is, or like close to personal terms.
Yeah, we're going to move on to that next, because you're right. Chelsea are looking for a double Dutch swoop on Xavi Simons and Hato from Ajax. Chelsea in advanced talks with Simmons and Hato. Both of them, I think personal terms are agreed. So now we're just waiting on final figures. Looks like it's going to be about 40 million euros, maybe, or 34 million pounds for Hato. And I think Leipzig are still looking for upwards north of 60 plus million for Xavi Simmons. We'll see what the final negotiation looks like. But from my standpoint on this, I'm very happy. I feel like we, in this window, have definitely preferenced physicality in the team, as well as ball striking, as well from distance, as well as close range. We saw that in the finishing from João Pedro. Even the shot from Delap in the final against PSG was... We just don't see shots like that very often at Chelsea, because we just have had poor ball striking ability in the front line for years. And then obviously when you see the likes of Xavi Simmons, who is like Dutch wonder kid from La Masia, who could never really find a home. He was at PSG, he was at PSV, he was now at Leipzig, but he's got a banger on him as well. I remember when he scored against England. That's the one goal that I was just like, oh crap, what's going on right now? And he's talented, man, and he's been talented. And I think Chelsea, as much as we've spoken about, goalkeeper, which I think is still important, wingers, when we've lost, Mudryk to the suspension, Sancho's obviously been sent back. Actually having someone that can deputise or play in Cole Palmer's position, if, touch wood, he doesn't, but if he was to get injured, is critical, because we all know how much Cole Palmer is influential in that Chelsea team. For the last 2 years, no one could really even play in his position to the same, not even the same, forget the same level, but just even have that influence on the team. Hopefully Simmons could bring that as a 10, but also play with him as a wide kind of playmaker. And Hato is crucial, because Cucurella has not had a deputised player behind him for about 6 months. Renato Vega obviously went to Juventus on loan. He was now going to be going to Atletico. It looks like that's not going to be happening now, because they've gone and got someone else. But Cucurella has just been burnt. This guy's been playing Euros with Spain, then Chelsea all season. Then he's played Conference League. He's played Nations League. He's then played Club World Cup. He's not had any rotation, no rest. And Hato comes in as a 19-year-old centre-back, highly regarded if it happens, and kind of...
He was linked with us for a while.
Yeah, I heard he was linked in with you as well. I've heard
strong interest.
Yeah. I mean, I've obviously heard that he can be rash, or you can, as any aggressive defender is. We've had this with Rudiger, we had this with Cucurella, we've had this with even Renato Vega in glimpses last season at the beginning. When you have an aggressive young defender, they are guaranteed to make errors, because they're going to miss time the tackle or the kind of close contact.
Yeah, they're reading in the game. It's not going to be as developed as...
I'd rather they be like that than be too timid.
Okay,
especially in the Prem, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather they learn how to be aggressive while just being aggressive and working out when's best to use it.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that Rudiger has a special level of aggression.
Yeah, true.
Because he has that housery with the aggression that just takes him off the charts at times.
He used to make mistakes at Chelsea. Like in the first season or two, I remember West Ham away.
He wasn't
so bad. I think we lost that game.
He wasn't a fan favourite at all initially.
No, before Tuchel, but I think before Tuchel came in, maybe Sarri as well. Sarri season, he started to calm himself with who was playing, David Luiz, and Aspilicueta was in that team, etc. That Sarri season, we were better defensively because we were obviously a lot more possession based. Then Tuchel comes in back three and he just smashes it. But before that, it was early days. It was a bit ropey. But yeah, I'm happy with this. It's more signings through the door, I guess, for depth and for comps, like I said. And now we're going to see if Chelsea can actually compete at the top, because I think the window that they're gearing up with, they need to be challenging for the league.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen. All jokes aside with our bet and stuff. Listen, Chelsea statement win, innit, in the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
you made a bag of money off that, and now it's time to invest back into things and see if you can go on from there and win trophies. And listen, Chelsea are a very good team, man.
You should be trying to compete on four fronts. This coming season, got to be.
Oh,
Arsenal
100%.
Chelsea got to be. Liverpool got to be.
Listen, in this Premier League now, if you're not moving, Liverpool are showing. Liverpool are showing the way now. If you're not stepping up and making signings and looking to develop your team and push on, not only are you standing still, you're actually going to get left behind. I think that's what this is showing.
If you stand still, you go backwards.
Yeah. I think there's a massive gap forming between top four and everyone else right now. Like, with the business that's being done, obviously Tottenham could maybe get Paulinho, and they could maybe go and bring in another forward and obviously keep things closer. But where they finished last season, just to be in the top 7 is in the Champions League campaign is going to be difficult enough. That top 4, the business that they're doing, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, compared to like Newcastle, Villa, and everybody else, Brighton and Brentford have lost so many players. They're probably going to be in a relegation scrap.
And then with like us and Spurs, it's a case of trying to at least get somewhere before then.
Yeah, that gap is going to be. I think that gap's going to be crazy. Could be. We might not see a top 4 fight this year. We always get one. But I genuinely think this could be the first, because obviously we had no relegation battle last couple of seasons, no title fight last season. I think this season might be the first season in a long time where the top 4 is just, the gap to 5th is just so vast.
That's possible, but then you also have to factor into the equation that old adage when it comes to games. So the teams that are involved in Champions League football, and indeed Europa League football, playing twice a week, you know what I mean, over the course of a long season.
But everybody qualified for Europe in the end, didn't they? Obviously, Palace have got Europe, Forest have got Europe, Villa have got Europe, Newcastle have got Champions League, so Tottenham have got it. So it's not, apart from yourselves, so it's not. We have nothing. Sorry about that. But it's not like as if those teams are playing one game a week and can capitalise. It's only Manchester United that actually have the ability to capitalise on that one game a week situation.
I think it's going to be more of a factor for us than I think United fans are giving it credit for. The fact that we've got one game a week. One game a week, we've got a pretty, hopefully we'll start to have a more settled squad and settled web. This is all on the hope more than anything that Amorim can really do some good work this summer. Yeah. And put in a groundwork that actually stays in the ground rather than being ripped up third game of the season like Ten Hag used to do. Ten Hag used to prepare things for 6 weeks in pre-season, and when it didn't work in the second and third game week, he'd rip it up and go back to like a 4-3-3 transition. I hope we don't do it this season. I hope we kind of go through and stick with stuff, because there's no point in not sticking.
I think history shows that when teams do have just the one game a week, it does help them.
It'll kick in around December. Yeah, I think as long as we can maintain at least half decent run of form up until December. The fact that we have one game a week plus the Carabao Cup game.
And in any event, I don't think United are going to be anywhere near as bad as it was last season, especially with Mbeumo and Cunha.
It's funny to say that we are going to be, but I don't think we will either.
No,
it's not possible.
You won't.
It's actually not possible.
No. Oh, it definitely. I can tell you it is.
It's not.
It's not.
You guys, if it wasn't for the 3 teams at the bottom being so bad, you guys actually could have been in some sort of relegation battle conversation, which is just nuts.
Probably.
Yeah. With Mbeumo and Cunha, that's just impossible.
And not only that, it's on the record that the guy said he didn't even want to take on the job last season when he came.
Actually.
And there was a reason why he said that.
He said at the time he wanted it in the summer, but he said after the end of last season that he's happy he took it in December. Because Amorim said, I've made mistakes in my first 6 months that I know I'm not going to make next season.
Okay.
And otherwise, if I'd come in the summer, I'd have made those mistakes next season.
No, but the thing is, you got to understand that he would have been aware of the certain level of toxicity at the club. You're making moves now to remove some of that toxicity. So it's going to be a different environment coming in.
I really hope it is. And I do kind of think the fans, we need to play our part.
I
really think we do. We can't just throw out the pram.
I think your atmosphere is strong though, isn't it?
You were backing him last season anyway.
2 weeks ago.
No, not online, but at the ground.
To be fair, you're probably right.
I feel like for how bad you guys were, I feel like in the ground, your support is pretty damn good.
At Old Trafford, it was pretty unified last season. To be fair, like that Lyon game, for example, that doesn't happen without our fans literally
could have been way more toxic.
Bro. Yeah. No, you are right, to be fair. You are right. And I think Cunha and Mbeumo are going to raise that, especially in Mbeumo. I think Cunha's I think we've spoken about this before, but Cunha's a bit of a wild card. I think he'll be great. But I think Mbeumo's a player that we can now fall back on, like we have with Bruno Fernandes. We can just fall back on him and rely on him to just be
But
good.
I think with Cunha, especially if he does well, for example, God forbid, he scores against Arsenal in that first game of the season, and he does a certain swagger celebration. You can just imagine the fans are going to embrace him, big time.
Who do you think is going to be the first player? So this is a different question. Who do you think is going to be the first player to pull out the Gyökeres celebration against Arsenal? Because I reckon it'll be. You got Leeds second game of the season, don't you?
Yeah.
I can see some random unsuspecting Leeds player bring out the Gyökeres celebration when they go 1-0 up, and then Leeds together and get pumped 5-1 or something
1-0 up.
like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the kind of game. They'll score 7th minute, and then you'll score 28th, 30th, 35th, and then win 5-1 because it's Leeds.
Heard there's a 120 million agreement with Liverpool. This super chat saying, it will be a British record, no doubt.
Yeah,
Newcastle will demand that it is a British record.
The more I think about it, the more he's out of there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
British record's 115. Caicedo, right?
Well, what was Verts? 116 or something like that? I think
it was
Verts became
100
a British
plus
record.
16, so it's like I think it becomes a British record.
If
with
he achieves
the add-ons.
yeah.
But base fee, Caicedo was, I believe, 115,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
so it will be a British record. 100.
It will
Minimum
be
120.
Be a British record sale and signing.
Yeah, they won't be able to get add-ons in there to not make it a British record for sure. Touch wood, it's knock on wood. All love. I didn't actually. Are you sure? Is it knock on wood?
It's Touchwood.
It is Touchwood, isn't it?
Yeah, I said it's Touchwood.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, it's Touchwood.
Was it me that said it or you?
It could be knock on wood, but I've always Touchwood.
Knock on wood is so long, bro. That's 3 words. That's just long.
Yeah. It's not a phrase, it's a sentence, man.
Yeah, bro.
It's definitely Touchwood.
Man's doing gymnastics.
You've got clauses in that.
In a Machiavellian way, I'm just thinking, I can't help but think about Arsenal. Surprise, surprise. In a Machiavellian way, does this mean that there's less pressure on Arteta then?
No, Arteta is under pressure.
He's
man.
under so much
No,
pressure.
but come on.
You've not won anything
Bro,
in like
let me
5
tell you.
years.
Let me tell you why.
You got to win something.
No, hear me out, hear
Let
me
me
out,
tell
hear
you
me
why you're not going anywhere. Let me
me
tell
out.
you why you don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. You guys have had more than enough opportunity to do this second place thing. Now, last season was meant to be the season where I think your board should have absolutely thrown the kitchen sink at your squad and made sure you were clear and obvious title favourites. In fact, most people, the general consensus was really, it is Arsenal's time now, 3rd time's the charm. And then that City drop-off was just like, oh yeah, this is definitely Arsenal's time. Obviously, Liverpool come out of nowhere. But you should have never allowed Liverpool to even come out of nowhere. Bare minimum, you should have been going toe-to-toe all the way to the final day. The fact that you guys didn't capitalise off the fact that you had basically the team ready, just a couple of finishing touches, which is the striker, which you already knew, and maybe the left winger if you just wasn't going to rest on your laurels with Martinelli. The fact that you didn't do that, and then you left it, so then you went into a season with Havertz and Jesus and Mikel Merino in the end, who had to do an emergency forward. Didn't do anything in January, and then now you're coming into this season trying your hardest to get players in, and then you still, we're not
All
having
that
it.
is true.
We're not having
All that
it.
is true, but hear me out.
Not having it, man.
No, you're actually right.
Because otherwise
everything
what?
you've said there, I
Otherwise
can't
you've
really
missed the boat.
disagree
You've
with.
missed
But here's the Machiavellian side of things.
Saliba's going next summer. If you don't win the league this season, you've truly missed the boat. I want to let you know.
Saliba's going next summer.
Well, then
anyway,
you're
even
missing
if
the
we
boat,
win.
Laurie, and then you're not going to win the league.
No, but what I'm saying is, in terms of what I said about the Machiavellian view that does this reduce the pressure on Arteta is that straight away, as soon as you guys heard about Isak, you said, oh, title's done. Which, to all intents and purposes, it kind of looks that way with the signing of Verts and Kirkes and Frimpong and all the rest of it. So you may look at it from an Arsenal perspective or a Mikel Arteta's perspective and say, in some ways, although the pressure is on, maybe it's slightly reduced because with the weight of signings that Liverpool are going to make, now Arteta can somewhat revise his aspirations somewhat to say, well, if I don't win the league, then Champions League, domestic cup.
It's not just about the Prem, though. You haven't won anything.
No, he's got to win something. 100%.
So like pressure.
But we're at the likes of people like Turkish, shout out to Turkish, and my boy Curtis, shout out to him. They're saying it's Premier League or bust. I'm saying now, with Liverpool signing Isak, is it almost an unreasonable expectation to expect Arteta to win the
Premier League
there
and
is-
champs.
There is a way where Arsenal can not win the league and Arteta can still be, I think, deemed to have a successful season if you go win the FA Cup and or the Carabao Cup and or Champions League final, win the Champions League. But if you don't end up lifting something at some point next season, either
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
There is, but as well, no matter if you win any of the other 3 competitions, if it comes at sacrifice to your Premier League form, I think you almost can't count it as a success as well. Because if Liverpool are fighting on all 4 fronts, Chelsea can be fighting on all 4 fronts, City can be fighting on all 4 fronts. You can't then go, oh, it's fine that we finished 4th in the Premier League because we won the FA Cup.
No, I'm not saying 4th.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
So
we got a challenge.
Arteta, it could be said to not be a failure if you go all the way in the Prem, don't make it, but you also pick up other stuff. If you were to just go all the way in the Prem and then have your usual 2-0 loss to Villa at the Emirates with 3 games to go kind of thing, and then you also then get knocked out in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and then you also Champions League, you just get battered by someone or something, then it's a failure. But you need to make sure that you're winning something as well as keeping up in the Prem for the entire 38 games.
You made the point that I'm saying. I'm saying that to the Arsenal fans that have been very vocal in saying Arteta needs to win the Premier League or Champions League. Otherwise, forget about domestic cups. I'm saying with the Isak signing, if he does go to Liverpool, as we pretty much expect he will do now, then in a Machiavellian way, that almost reduces the pressure.
I don't think it's relevant. No. Because Arsenal's thing isn't about who else is as good as them. It's about you staying consistent for an entire season, which is what you failed to do each time the last 3 seasons. So Liverpool signing Isak or not isn't but I'm pretty sure it doesn't change it because you still need to
let me phrase it another way.
If the man can bleed, the man can be beat. Yeah,
that's true. But I'm pretty sure and I'd invite you to do so actually, if you put that in a poll, in the comments, if Isak signs for Liverpool, is the title done? I'm pretty sure 90% of people.
But this is the thing, right? For Arsenal, and this is why you got to capitalise on time, and you can't just be in a project where it's like, oh no, we're the best team over the calendar year, so we got the most points, and all of these silly things that have come out to almost justify not winning the league. Because now Liverpool are flexing their muscles. Now people are starting to see that you're not the favourites, and like you said, if Isak goes there, you're probably not going to win it. Now you're going to potentially not win it for a very long time, because if Saliba goes, what's to stop other top players from turning around and saying, well, we're not going to win it, right? So what are we doing here? And then you start to lose the team, and it starts to break apart. And this is what happened under Wenger. Just pure negligence for not getting the final piece.
I think it was slightly different with Wenger.
Yeah,
the club had lost
because of the stadium and maybe but
the ambitions were different.
Yeah, but just not getting the final pieces in time and quickly enough to put yourself in a position now where you're always lacking something, and then your rivals just capitalize. And I feel like for me the main point here is that you guys, if you don't have anything to show for this season, whether it's a Prem or a Champs, he has to go, because he has made the decision with Edu to sign Havertz and put him on that wage. He has made the decision to sign, these other attackers, long list of attackers that have not improved the team or not taken it to the next level. Only Saka is really a bona fide top tier world-class attacker in your side. Now Gyökeres is coming in, but if it's too little too late, he has to pay the price for that, because he didn't have to get Havertz. He didn't. No one told him to sign Havertz. No one told him to put him on 250, 270k a week and then financially cripple himself and then make excuses after, Liverpool got Isak. This is why Liverpool's model on not signing just second and third rate players, they just get exactly what they want. If they can't get Caicedo or Lavia, they just get Endo, and they don't. Yeah, but that's the point. When Liverpool recruiters can't get their main target, they don't drop their standard and try and buy players that are like second and third main target. Yes, he is the main target.
No, their main target was Isak.
But they're getting both, Laurie. They're getting both, right? That's the point.
No, we're saying that with the benefit of what we know now.
Yeah, but
make no mistake, their main target was Isak.
But the clubs always have a 2 or 3 main targets per position, don't they? Like, you can say maybe, I think there's a difference between main target and number 1 target. Isak was probably their number 1 target and still is their number 1 target, but it doesn't mean that signing Ekitike was a step down from signing Isak in their mind.
If we look at it another way, if they'd have got Isak when they got Ekitike, do you still think they'd be in the running for Ekitike?
Probably, yeah. They might do. I mean, it depends on Newcastle.
Sure,
Liverpool have been greedy this summer. They probably would be. Yeah. They are eating up this entire.
It's easy to say that, but somehow I doubt with it. I think if they'd have got Isak, they would have said, "Yep, cool."
They still need 2 strikers, and Nunes is leaving, so they would have to get someone up front.
It may have been a case if they sign Isak and then wait to see what happens with Nunes, and then when Nunes and or Diaz goes, then gone and get Ekitike. But I see that the fact that they've been so strong in this market means that chances are they wanted both anyway, but the timeline might have been different. They wouldn't sign them so close together, because obviously Ekitike was announced yesterday? I think yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Although
and this is actually
the groundwork for it was done last week. But
but as in and then the Isak stuff has happened so soon afterwards. It may have been a case that they wanted to sign Isak 2 months ago or like a month ago, and then wait to sell Diaz, and then once Diaz is gone, they then go for Ekitike a month later.
CB, big up my brother. CB says Chelsea throw the kitchen sink at Isak, swap deal with Jackson, make Chelsea great again. I don't think that will happen, brother.
I
But
thought you lot were great already.
I would
You've been
love to
telling
see
us
it.
that you're club world champions. What's going on?
yeah, but when we talk about greatness, we talk about world domination. So that's Premier League,
No, but
Champions League.
you told me you're world champions.
Yeah, but we need
That's
Premier League
world
champions. Yeah,
domination,
but,
right?
all right, so we've done world domination, but now we want to come back and make sure the continent's good and the country's good. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
We're coming to check up on the country and the continent. Do you know what I mean? Gotta
Right,
make sure things are still
right.
intact. We're gonna move to the next topic in a minute. We're gonna come towards the end of the show in a minute, people. How many managers in top clubs have taken a club down into the dumps and got them competing for a title on their first time in a managerial seat? All other managers have previous experience. I don't
Is he
think
talking about
yeah,
Arteta?
I don't think the point on Arteta is to say that he's a failure in terms of
No, he's not.
like
no.
as a manager, because he's so young and like you said, it's his first job. He's actually done
He's done
brilliantly
well.
for
He's
a
done
first
well,
job.
done well.
But
I
the
wouldn't
point-
say he's done brilliantly. He's done well.
for his first job, I think he's done brilliantly because, like, for him, not for Arsenal. Arsenal should be trying to win, but for a manager's first job, which is usually like Maresca was, lower leagues, and like for your first job to be Arsenal and you actually get them out of top 4, 5th, 6th, and you get them into competing. I think he in isolation, his stock has gone way up. From being
listen,
Pep's-
he's a good
from
man.
being
Listen,
Pep's
if he was to
assistant,
leave
do you know what I
Arsenal
mean?
tomorrow, there'd be no shortage of suitors.
Exactly.
I think the issue with Arsenal fans as far as Arteta's going, okay, let me speak for myself. He's done a great transitional job. I think what the fan base are looking for now is for him to deliver, especially when you think as well, when he'd won a trophy in his first season. We honestly thought he'd have 2 or 3 in the bag by now, if not a Premier League. I think what he needs to show now is he can make that transition from nearly man to winner. So that's what we're about to find out.
I can't think, to actually answer that super chat question. I can, in recent examples, Zidane, Xavi Alonso.
It depends on the league, though, innit? Because some leagues are.
No, I'm thinking top 5
more
leagues. Top 5 leagues. Who's come first job? So Xavi Alonso's first job.
Zidane.
And I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah.
Anyone that's had the PSG job that's come in and just won titles.
No, but PSG haven't hired someone who's not had a job before.
Yeah. That's what you
Right.
mean.
Oh, I see what you
PSG,
mean,
like,
yeah.
so for example, like I know this
Fabregas is currently at
Como,
Como, yeah.
but he's not won the league.
No.
He just kept
It's
them
tough.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we
like-
are seeing it more and more these days, it seems, with the younger managers of the previous generation as well.
No, that is true because they're also starting their managerial thought process much earlier.
Mm.
Like Amram's 40, having managed top club in Portugal.
Jorginho
one
is
of the top
definitely going to be a
clubs in
manager.
United.
I can just tell.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I think Casemiro is going to be one as well.
Yeah.
It's always the DMs. Always
Yeah,
the
yeah,
DMs.
100%. The Sixers, they love it.
Yeah.
I don't know, managers. Sorry, attackers, they like to manage.
Not Thierry Henry. I didn't go
Thierry
very well.
Henry.
Attackers like to become managers because
Van
they
Nistelrooy.
are.
It's not going great.
But
is
this
it?
is what I mean. Attackers, they
Yeah.
like being the forefront of the team.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
think a logical next step. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the forefront, being the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because they only see the final third of the pitch, the DMs see everything.
Facts.
I think that's that plays.
If
such
you're a
huge
striker,
part.
you're not seeing much.
Yeah, you
Let's
really
be
aren't.
honest. You're making runs, so you're actually looking forward. Half
Yeah,
the
you're
time.
looking forward or you're looking at the ball. The
Yeah.
DM, you're looking at all 22
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
on the pitch.
I also think that ego plays a part in management as well. When a player's finished playing,
Xavi,
they're
Barca.
probably thinking that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're probably thinking that. Yeah, I can
That's
do
yeah,
this.
that's a good.
Yeah,
shout.
yeah.
I've seen it all. I've done it all. I can do this, man.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? All right, cool. And let's see. Question for the panel: which one player from your team that you would want to see ball out this season? All of them.
All of them, man.
Cole Palmer. I just want him back to first season levels.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to say Jokeris, but I have a kind of an affinity for Madueke as well, given all that he's gone through. I'm really hoping that he does well, especially when you consider I was one of the public detractors. I want to be proved wrong about it.
Yeah.
You know
If I had to pick a new player, I'd probably go João Pedro because he could actually hit
he's so
20,
good.
20 prem goals if he does a madness.
He's wearing that Chelsea shirt, man. The way he's just come in and just.
Yeah, Pedro. I'm
He
surprised.
looks like he's made for this. I've got to say. I was
enjoying-
impressed by not just the goal, the way he took his goals, the whole way he's embraced that Chelsea move. He just like, I'm built for this.
Mine's Cunha. Easy. Because I feel like Cunha's, if he does well and he plays well, I think his swagger and his confidence will be so infectious.
Yeah. It could be Cantona-esque.
Yeah. If the question is like, if I could pick one person to guarantee an amazing season from, like I wouldn't go Bruno because I think it's likely anyway. I wouldn't go Mbeumo because I feel it's likely anyway. But Cunha, he, as I said right at the beginning of the program, I think he's a little more of a wild card.
Yeah, he's a
because-
maverick.
Yeah, because he is. But if he does that well, and he's leading the line on that left hand side, especially after having like Rashford and Garnacho with so many issues on that left hand side over the course of the last few years. Cunha plays well, 15 to 20 goals across all comps, whatever it is, and then 10 assists, and he just like leads it, and he's like the face of it, and all the others just work and do well and do amazing, like Ahmad was last season, and Mainoo improves and Yora improves and all of that. I feel like Cunha could be so infectious.
You know what it is as well?
team's
It's what I
confidence.
call that maverick factor in it. Every club, when you support a club, you want the maverick to do well because.
And I just want a Brazilian to do well at United. I really, because we haven't
Yeah, you've
really
had quite
it,
a few in it.
We've had a few. We've
Anthony.
had a load of Brazilians in the past.
Anderson.
And so our first Brazilian signing was Kleberson in 2002.
Yeah.
And it's like we've had Anderson won the Champions League, the double with us, and Anderson,
Golden Boy, wasn't he?
Yeah. But like that didn't really work out in the way you'd expect a Golden Boy to work out. Anthony didn't work out. Fred was Fred. He cult hero Fred, but like he wasn't the world class midfielder we wanted. And then other Brazilian, it hasn't really worked to the point where we've not had a Brazilian superstar. And I feel like that's the thing that every club should have, is a Brazilian superstar at some point at least.
Yeah.
And we haven't had it, and I really want that to be Cunha.
Like I said,
Really want it to be a test.
You have a goal-scoring maverick that does well in your team. The whole fan base aligns behind them.
And I think if Cunha works, I think that will do absolute wonders for us. See, I'm trying to be positive. After last season, I'm trying to look forward.
No, you have to,
positive,
man. When it's a new season and nothing's done yet, like everybody
Just
starts on the
potential.
same points, you just have to pray.
There's potential everywhere.
You do have to pray. I'm an Arsenal fan here in the super chat, says from ODO. He says, I'm an Arsenal fan. It doesn't matter if Liverpool buys prime Messi. No excuses. We put ourselves in this position by not capitalising last summer.
So he's basically
saying what I said.
reiterating what you said.
Yeah, I do think that is kind of the situation.
No, listen, what you said makes absolute sense. But like I said, the Machiavellian side of me thinks that in some ways maybe that slightly reduces the pressure. I'm not saying it ought to. I'm saying that that's how it might play out.
Yeah. Sean saying people in the chat thinking Isak will be less than 100 million. No chance. What's progression look like in your eyes, Laurie? Doesn't matter what other teams are doing. You have got the missing pieces.
Well, I've been on the record. I mean, I did a show with Dylan yesterday, and well, you've heard me say it as well, Matisse. We had the bet and stuff. I've said that I gave him a little bit of leeway. I've given him a bit of leverage. I'm saying that he has to win the trophies. Some people are saying it's got to be majors. I'm saying just to keep the pot cooking, he's got to win at least something. And he can't just win a Carabao Cup. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got if he wins the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, we've got to be doing our stuff in the Premier League as well. We've got to be challenging. It can't be like last season where Liverpool were on the beach with 3 games to go, winning it by 10 points. I'm saying push them right to the very end. If you do come up short, we've got to push you right to the very end.
I think the mistake that you guys made is you didn't try and win or take maybe the Carabao or FA Cup seriously enough with this crop of players who haven't won it.
Trophies.
And then it would have
Keep it
given them
ticking.
the winning mentality. People think it's cliche, but it really, I've seen it with my own team. Like just the taste of winning and that Club World Cup against PSG, what it's done for them. The quotes, the comments, the way that their chest just comes out and they just seem to just go up
I
again.
remember
Man
seeing
City
quotes
with the
from
Carabaos used to
Mourinho
do
when
it.
he took over and Pep when he took over. He said, I want to win everything.
Yeah,
in this
literally.
club.
Top managers have said it when they've come to this country. They always get that Carabao Cup or that Carling Cup first, and it always leads to more. And I feel like now you've got yourself in a problem because the Carling Cup, Carabao, is not good enough. So, but you still need it, in my opinion, to get the actual Tottenham, really, because when Tottenham don't win anything, this is what they get cussed, right? So Arsenal's a similar situation. You got to get that monkey off your back. But now the fan base are over all of that now because it's too far into the process to care. So you put yourself in a bit of a position. Perry says, my replacements if Chelsea couldn't get first choice. I'm not sure exactly who that is. Feyenoord, is 25-year-old player. GNA 16, 10 assists, Paxco. I'm not sure who that is. Winger forward, Miguel Gutierrez as well. Okay, look at you, little scout, eh? Left back, GNA 2 and 6. Okay, interesting. I've never actually seen these players, but great shouts that you've got players that no one is really mentioning at all in any sort of reports for forwards and left back. Left back we've already kind of maybe probably secured anyway, so won't need to sign another one. Let's see if there's anything else before we come to a close. Plot twist, Isak goes to Arsenal. No chance. That's not happening. That's not happening. Gyökeres is done now. Should be flying out to Singapore with the rest
So
of
I'm
the
hearing.
Air
I mean,
TV
we got
lads,
the game
isn't it?
against Newcastle. Funny enough, on Sunday.
Oh, he'll play if he'll fly out. You've got like 3 games around East Asia.
I mean, I've got to say this very quickly. I know I don't want to dominate with Arsenal thoughts, but even watching our game yesterday against AC Milan, we dominated the game. I think we had something like 23-4 shots on goal. We only got the 1 goal. We should really have won that game by 3 or 4-0. You know what the difference is? Is that unfortunately, we just don't have the striking talent to get it across the line. Saka had to score, which is, you know what I mean? I guarantee if Gyökeres was playing yesterday, we win that game 3-0. That's the difference.
That's the difference. Yeah, he's going to get goals for me. It's just whether or not it'll be enough. Matisse didn't use Santos in the Club World Cup. We did actually. Not as much as maybe we would like, but we did use him. Can you send him back? We need him for the Conference League, Ales Strasbourg. You can also add Jackson as part of the package. He'll thrive in League 1. Sorry, brother. Jackson, the asking price is much more than I'm sure you're willing to pay. All right, we're going to wrap up there, people. That has been a weekend preview show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Laurie. And
well done to you, man. I thought you did very well.
Yeah, great hosting job from you.
It's the first time you've done this.
Huh?
It's the first time you've done
No, I don't know. It's probably not, to be fair. But, let's not get too comfortable. Where's the other host?
Push for it, bro. Push for it.
Nah, man. Let me get back.
Starting striker, start next season.
Nah. Man likes to do the facilitating thing. You know what I mean? Just assists. You know what I mean?
Seamless transition.
We need the star man.
Pass first kind of guy.
You made a seamless transition.
Fabregas, I prefer the pass to the goal.
Yeah,
but yeah, guys, we will see you obviously on Monday for the show. And we will see what more transfer news has hit very, very soon.